So we are throwing back to December 2016, 8 years ago. I was involved in a women's chorus that is involved with Sweet Adeline's barbershop music. And in 2016, they were nominated to sing on the U.S.S. Missouri battleship in Hawaii to honor and commemorate the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. It was a huge honor, and I was fortunate to be in the choir that year, and so I was able to go to Hawaii and sing with them. So our first day there, we landed late in the afternoon, and they had scheduled a dinner for all of us, oddly in a different hotel than the hotel we were staying in, but they booked it in this hotel dinner. It was on a balcony, and the view from that hotel was stunning. The sunset was absolutely gorgeous, and the dinner was fantastic. They had a hula dancer and musician, and they were teaching us all how to hula dance. It was a most amazing night. So fun. I will never forget the views and the fun time I had there. Hawaii is so beautiful. I can see why so many people talk about it and why they want to go move and live there despite all of the volcanoes and possible tsunamis. So the following day, which was December 6th, we went to the Pearl Harbor base, and while we were visiting the Pearl Harbor Memorial, we saw this man who was obviously a veteran. We assumed a veteran of the Pearl Harbor attack. And we almost didn't say anything to him because we didn't want to disturb him. It looked like he was deep in thought. But as he continued moving on from one memorial stone to the next, we decided to go tell him thank you. And as we did, he promptly held out his hand to the three of us as we told him, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for your freedom. Thank you for your bravery. We are so very proud of you." And it must have been that last sentence that moved him to share. As he started to choke up, a single tear ran down his face, and he began to share his experience with us of the day of that attack. And as we stood there listening in silence with tears now running down our face, as we could see the look of sheer terror on his face, he remembered it like it was yesterday. And out of respect for him, I will not share his story here or give his name. We got the sense that he didn't want to be recognized. We just felt privileged and honored to hear his story. He was assigned to the U.S.S. Ogallala. I will never forget him or his bravery. And I am reminded here to tell you that anytime you see a veteran, no matter from what war, express your gratitude. Be kind, be generous, be patient. Show love and mercy to all our veterans because they deserve every single bit of it. These are some pictures from the U.S.S. Arizona Memorial. I cannot describe the feeling while there. It is so sombering. It was almost like you were there when the attack happened because the air is so heavy. There is still oil leaking from at least one of the ships that sank during the attack, which this next picture will show. But you just kind of have to go there yourself to experience it and to understand about the feeling that I'm talking about. Later on that evening, we were invited to a show put on by, I hope I pronounced this right, the Naleolani Women's Chorus, and they also invited the Masters of Harmony Men's Chorus. So we all put on a show together for each other. And not only did they host the show, but they also hosted a dinner for us, made by the women of their chorus. And so that was really nice of them. It was a fun night just of singing and getting together before we performed on the U.S.S. Missouri the next day. Here's a quick look at the Masters of Harmony singing for us at the dinner.
We're here to entertain you in a music style called Barbershop. And we're so happy to be here. Thank you for providing us this wonderful meal and having a good time with our brothers and sisters in harmony. Now in the direction of Alan Gordon, the Masters of Harmony. On a rainy, rainy day.
So then the next morning it was time to get ready and prepare for singing on the U.S.S. Missouri. So after our performance, we were allowed to walk on the U.S.S. Missouri and take a look around and look at the cabins and everything. I did not go look at the cabins. I'm a little claustrophobic, so I stayed up on the top. But I am telling you, those guns are ginormous. These pictures don't do them justice. They're way bigger in person than they look right now in these pictures. What is so special about the U.S.S. Missouri battleship, you might ask? Well, the deck of the U.S.S. Missouri is where the Japanese signed their official formal surrender document to end World War II. And so there's a spot here on this battleship where they memorialized the very spot where they stood and signed that document right here. So it's kind of cool that I was able to go and be on a significant piece of history and be on this ship. This flag is from Commodore Perry. If you don't know who he is, in your bit of history, he's basically the reason we have trade with Japan from back in the 1800s. This picture is literally of hundreds of high school band players who were brought together from all across the country to also play and perform on the U.S.S. Missouri for the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. So now here we are leaving the ship, and later on that night we ended up going out to a Japanese restaurant where they cook your food right in front of you at your table, which was definitely a show in itself. and I ordered a Blue Hawaii drink, which is probably the best drink I have ever had. I've never had one as good since then. We had one more day left in Hawaii, and one thing that happened was while a bunch of us were swimming, which was on top of the hotel roof, the band high schoolers that performed after us were in the hotel across the street from us. And so my director had us start singing to them from on top of the roof. And then they spontaneously started playing their band instruments together. It was kind of like the riff off on the movie Pitch Perfect, but with band instruments and a chorus going back and forth. And then at the end, we came together and sang, and they played together. So it was just a fun, impromptu, spontaneous thing that none of us planned, and it lasted about 45 minutes. Later on that evening, we went to a magician. We were supposed to go to a luau, but the luau got canceled, so we booked the musician dinner party at last minute, and they had a pre-warm-up show before the magician, who was a Elvis impersonator, and he ended up choosing me out of the crowd, out of everybody, giving me a kiss and giving me his scarf. I still have that scarf. It says Blue Hawaii, and it's hanging on my wall at home. But it was a lot of fun. I wish I had pictures from that. But then the next morning, it was time to go and say goodbye to everyone and leave this beautiful place and all the new friends that we had made, because some of these ladies that joined our choir were from a couple other different choirs down in California. It was such a memorable trip, and I feel honored and privileged that I got to go and participate. And I want to thank all of my friends who helped me financially to be able to go. And this is a final group shot. And then me with my roomies for the few days that we were there. And thus concludes my trip to Hawaii to sing on the U.S.S. Missouri in honor of the 75th anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Thanks for watching, and until next time, feed the pollinators for me.